When it comes time to repair popping drywall tape, there's a prep process that you have to go to, which we covered in an earlier video. We've gone through that process here already, so now we're ready to start retaping the joint. So the first step to repairing the tape joint is mixing up some joint compound. I like to use quick set joint compound, a 20-minute. That allows me to do multiple coats in a day. It's also denser than regular joint compound, which when you force it into the seam between the two sheets, it closer simulates the actual gypsum that drywall is made out of. I like to keep it in a plastic jug because it's easier to pour out of without making a mess. And if I had multiple joints to repair at the same time, I would probably go with the 90-minute, which would give me more working time and allow me to do more joints with this one batch. So mixing it up, it's kind of a feel you develop after doing it a few times, but what you don't want to do is put too much water in at first. You just add a little bit of water at a time, and that way you don't go overboard. Because then if you do go overboard and it gets too loose, you have to add more of your dry mix. And then before you know it, you end up with way more than you need. The reason why I like it, this consistency, is because it's a lot easier to keep on the knife and on the honk. Especially when you're doing ceilings. Gravity wants to work against you all the time. And I like using a large bucket because I can get a 6-inch knife in there and get almost all the mud out. Just get it on the honk. Put about that much on your knife, and I like to work it into the crack between the seams so you know you're pushing it up into that crack, not just on the surface of it. Okay, so I'm working it into the crack between the two sheets, into the seam. So now we get our tape. I like using mesh tape because you completely avoid the bubbling issues that come along with using paper tape. And you want to get one end, kind of start up there. I like to just hold it with the knife, run it out to where you need it to be. Let's do that again. And so you got your rough amount there. Get that in, cut that in, and you just press it into the mud that you already put on there, filling the joint. And just smooth it out, and now your tape's set. So when you bed your tape, you want to have your knife at an angle, probably about a 30-degree angle, and that will force the joint compound into the mesh tape and take off any excess at the same time without pulling the tape out of position. Okay, so we did our first coat, and I used the 20-minute quick set, so we could literally wait 10 minutes and we'd be able to apply a second coat right over that, drawing it nice and tight just to fill the void between the finished surfaces of either sheet. And that should be ready for a quick light sand and paint. If there's a third coat's required, it wouldn't be much, and would set up in minutes.